Hello, my name is Stephanie Kilgast and today I'm going to show you how I painted an eyed ladybug. So the normal ladybug has 7 dots and the dots are simply black on a red shell. But this one, the eyed ladybug, is a little bit more interesting in my opinion because each dot is surrounded by a halo of yellow, which I found really pretty. And so I really wanted to paint that one and not the regular ladybug because, yeah, I just thought it might be more interesting. And the painting ended up to be quite good, so I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And I'm actually really happy to share it with you. So I've made this specific ladybird as a sculpture as well. I've been working a lot on beetles lately. Not the music group. I don't know why this just popped into my mind, but no, not the Beatles, the music group, but the beetles, the insects, obviously. And so I've been working a lot on them. I've always liked bugs. I always find it kind of funny when I see people leaving comments and saying, "Oh, I wish bugs were as pretty," but probably most of you don't realize, but these are actual bugs. The most bugs I've made in the past, and also in my latest speed sculpting video and also Skillshare class, they're actually real life bugs. So I didn't really invent most of them, and those I have invented, I didn't invent in total. It's just the colors that I changed to my liking. So bugs are really pretty, and a lot of insects are quite marvelous little pieces. I think bugs, even though they are the biggest biomass on Earth, they are completely underappreciated, and that's kind of sad in a way. It's like everyone is so intent on furry animals or animals that look more like humans, like apes, or animals that are supposedly closer to us, like dogs and cats. And most people are either scared or they just don't like bugs and they see them as creepy. And that's interesting. I think it's kind of an ancestral reaction to bugs, because some bugs obviously are quite dangerous, but in percentage it's like less than 1%. I don't remember the exact percentage, but it's ridiculously low, the percentage of actual danger coming from bugs. Humans probably get killed more by dogs than any kind of insects, spiders and scorpions included, so you know, they're not really dangerous. Most of them are harmless, and from what I know, the beetles, so the Coleoptera family, I don't think there are any kind that is dangerous to humans. They mostly eat plants anyway, so it's not a real threat to us. And even though sometimes people see them as a pest, I would like to say that we all have to eat something, and they don't all eat the same plant, and the fact that they eat certain plants and not others, it also kind of helps the biodiversity to stay in balance. And the only real pest on Earth is really the human, so yeah, bugs. It sounds like I'm really passionate about bugs, which I guess I'm growing into them, so to speak. It's like I've always found them really pretty, and as an artist, it's very shallow, but I'm attracted to colorful, interesting things. So I feel like beetles are just one of those things that I love because they're so pretty and colorful and shiny sometimes, and just so interesting in all ways. So it makes sense that I would be attracted to them. But then the more I read about them, or every time I read something about bugs, I'm really intrigued and fascinated. And what I like most, I think, is that their functioning and how they think is so different from the human behaviors. And so for us sometimes it's a little bit odd, but it makes perfect sense for an insect. It's like many female insects after mating will eat the male, and this sounds horrible from human perspective, but from an insect perspective it does make some sense. So one of the theory which makes the most sense to me, so it's still just a theory because obviously we don't really know what's happening in the head and behavior. We just observe and then we try to understand and make sense of it. But one of the theory which makes a lot of sense is that just after mating, to ensure that the kids, the little babies of that particular insect are going to get enough food, is just to eat the male, because that's ready food just there. And most male insects, they are actually capable of mating just once. So it's kind of like thrown away food in a way for insects, I guess. So it does make sense to eat it. It doesn't make sense for a mammal or a human to eat the male, because first of all it would be way too much food, and we live a lot longer, so yeah, the parallel just doesn't work. But for an insect it does actually work. It makes sense, and I always find that intriguing, how behavior from one species to another is so radically different, but it also makes a lot of sense biologically speaking. And I really like that. So that's something that I always find interesting. And I also love the fact that bugs are one of the first species really to live just after bacteria. So that's pretty cool. It's like they're the oldest on Earth and they never died. They kept evolving and they kept surviving because they're so tiny, and they many beetles eat or live in extreme habitats or in certain zones that would just survive a dramatic climate change or anything. So it's like the cockroaches are the only ones that actually survive the atomic bomb. So I find that kind of reassuring that we might destroy ourselves, and we probably are going to destroy a huge chunk of actual biodiversity on Earth. But bugs, they're here to stay. They're here to stay, and I don't know, I find that's really reassuring to know that life is going to keep on until, of course, the sun explodes. But we have a little bit of time until then, so that's not just for tomorrow. Yeah, so bugs are awesome. Read more about bugs. And another thing that I never realized is that insects, they are animals. So it's we often see it in articles, or even when you talk to people, you kind of oppose animals to insects, but that makes no sense because insects belong to the group of animals. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I didn't know, I didn't really realize, or I just forgot. I probably saw that at school at some point. I hope so, because it seems to me that it's quite important information, so I really hope that we did see that in school, but I just cannot remember. So I just wanted to point that out, so, well, you know a little bit more about it. Okay, that's pretty much everything for today. Unscripted video. I did script a few ones, but this one is not scripted. It's probably not going to be too sped up either because it's just one painting, and I realize I talked a lot, but that's life. I really hope you enjoyed this video, my rambling, my love for bugs. If you love bugs, leave a comment, I guess. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!